Once again, it's the one and only Smoke, back up in your eardrums, album number 4, Declassified. Mad props to the one and only Explicit, God Cloud, and LMY. So y'all just kick back, light up a fat joint, and peep Declassified. I had a dream last night while I was staring at sand. Then I started digging fast, using both of my hands. Standing back a bit, I saw a structure that was made of night, and the way it shined nearly blinded my mind's eye. Like a tetrahedron leaning a totally inverted top, driven into the soil that was completely converted to oil. As I held it in my hands, dripping thick onto the ground, I put my foot on the pyramid and pushed it deeper down. Then the clouds that gathered round the sand, or rather pushed it all away. Grass and trees, animals and things, greet another sunny day. Make the change felt in the water as it left. And then I awoke and suddenly spoke after several sharpened breaths. Death or destiny was the message sent to me by my subconscious. The monsters that rule the hearts of men are preposterous. Obstinance can be masked by even the deepest hopes and dreams. You don't need to read too deep to understand what I mean.
From the tippy top of your touchy hot topic, descending from a homemade flying object made of onyx in an uncharted environment, drawing on the walls, enjoying the locale and an evacuated dodge. Exists in the realm between pure and hodgepodge with a so-so spirit while I'm face down in bars, looking for new lyrics. The ink leaves scars and my brain unlock gateways and metaphors, and I can serve you knowledge and truth a la carte. And I'm eating all the hearts of you false icons until the last star drop in the seraphim walk. I'ma see if I can define God the time I got to talk. It's simple mathematics to keep us trapped in crude forms. I'm a stardust anagram creating new norms with a freshly loaded hieroglyphic launcher. Universe is a target in rapid and magnificent darkness.
When you close your eyes, tell me why aren't you afraid? Because you realize from the darkness just where you came. Made to play the same game from the first breath you took. And it don't really matter if the rules are understood. Would you think something of it if I said it meant nothing? From the highest mountaintop to the deepest, darkest dungeon, plunging to the light like an ocean full of ice. Feel the shock and the sight as you open your eyes. Right before you lies a crossroad of near infinite choices that can only be traversed when you speak for the voices. Portious crowds walk on some while on others are none. No telling where one journey ends and another's begun. Run as fast as you can, walk as slow as it gets. But between the first and the last, there's really no difference. In it from cradle to grave, never knowing why we're made. See, from the prince to the pauper, every memory fades. Never listen to the television, go get on your computer. Ignore the mockingbirds and CNN. Men like Anderson Cooper, state troopers taking blood samples at checkpoints. We've let this nightmare go on so long, our Bill of Rights is destroyed. Short of the world as long as they support Western colonialism. We're back home, there's millions of our own. sitting in the prisons or jails. But the real criminals, they call too big to fail. Bail outs for government whores, and they say sifting through email. Sell ideas in Hollywood as they try to distract us with blatant propaganda and some no talent actors. The mattress got flipped so now you can see all of them stains from where the government's fucking us every single day. Hatred stays at the top of the list, the media's main objective. To have us killing each other while the politicians are protected, so you can fight and die across the globe for some fucking speech. But the one that's spoken will die forward. The shit's hypocrisy. If we don't stop, we'll be trapped in an never-ending paradox of violence and tyrants. TV news tries to scare the cops, so now they look at everyone as potential domestic terrorists, getting lectured by rich politicians about what fairness is. Awareness sits on the shelf in your mind, gaining dust. When PB personalities are the only people you trust, must just be a combination of sodium chloride and yellow number 5 in everything you drink. It's so when you're still fucking alive. Why do we continue to go through the same damn cycles? The same old story with a never new fucking tide. Rifles or swords, it really makes so little difference. Because the meat master's always getting fleeced by the wicked. Like sheep, we're living just from paycheck to paycheck. A continental slave ship dead on the pavement. The matrix is waiting for us. Our stars worshiping Horus. Abhorrence and Mormons, the new age coming right towards us. Formless corpses piled high from a government virus. Violence is always worse when it's got an excuse. Like when you're waving your flag, yelling support the troops. Shooting millions to continue imperialism on. We're promoting it all. Wrapped them in ego and false honor. Slaughter painted as the destruction of foreign militants. But America's body count makes ISIS look insignificant. Ignorance extolled as the most precious virtue by the very same people that can't wait to fucking hurt you. To work through this damn Orwellian prison state, you've got to connect your minds from the 2 minutes of hate. Make change and humanize the people living around you. The extent to which the victims will depress and astound you. What's lawful is awful, all that's good is illegal. They can drop atomic bombs, but don't you dare kill an eagle. I'm just left to wonder what slumbers in the minds of the people. Peace.
Return to the way things were done in the good old days. Good old days. A return to the way things were done in the good old days. Good old days.
Good old days. Gotta love that nostalgia, man. Yeah, fucking right. In the good old days, before the great AIDS plague, when the populace still drank every drop of the government Kool-Aid, the new age was something coming after the next millennium. No protesters in the streets because we weren't even letting them demonstrate without a super violent police response. See, there can be no opposition when the opposition's already gone. The good old days, where the stars and stripes were gods, and if their compression wasn't yet considered an unjust racist fraud, when whole nationalities could be thrown into internment camps because Roosevelt was such a caring liberal Democrat. Facts master reality for future generations. They're dead to abandon emotion for the age of information. Gas stations sold petrol at a gallon for only 41 cents. And your cancerous factory job was just enough to pay the rent. Back when the Bible was in schools and DDT in the flu. Children reciting the pledge with the sick Nazi salute. Them good old days. Yeah, right. Sure. Back when people were malnourished by the abject poverty, not overconsumption of processed packages, playing GMO lottery, ding ding ding, you got cancer, yo, a real big winner. Cobalt treatments got your ass dead by dinner. The good old days when women were still treated like garbage and everyone struggled in a pathetic cycle of self-inflicted hardships, where artists painted pictures of an ideal family that they're all white and middle class don't really seem so bad to me. A tragedy how all the kids nowadays are smoking reefer with that asinine rap music coming out of the speakers. Back in my day, we used to sing songs from church, but now there's an internet where everyone can learn about the inconsistencies in the religious doctrines we teach. In the good old days, we knew about freedom of speech, like the freedom to never criticize the government when you speak, because your fellow citizen will beat your ass in the street. So you could never be anything other than what you were made to be, complacently just another government slave. How eager we all are to return to them good old ways, looking through rose-colored glasses at them good old days. Man, just think about it for a minute before you start speaking on how you wish you were born in a different era. Cause you don't even fucking know. See my truth's unfiltered, the world's off kilter. Never cheaping down my rhymes with stupid filler. Guerrillas, funded by American tax dollars, used to overthrow opposition forces. Ass cannon fire, toddlers killed by drones across the globe's heart raised back home. Where half the populace is assessed to death with their motherfucking phones completely owned by a handful of the corporations. Use the government to rape us through taxation. Complacence is the enemy. See, it's killing us all. Will we take the system back before the wolves of Wall Street fall? Who knows? But in the meantime, out here we're all struggling, trying to make something outside the government's hustling. Must have been the way you made to worship the state, which makes you give a percentage of what's on your plate. And say they make you safe and ensure you're paid a decent wage. It's great. I say, how the fuck can you be free when you're locked in a fucking cage? What made to pray to death is children in the form of a flag that sign up to wind up in Iraq in a fucking body bag. You think the Congress gives a flying fuck about you dying overseas? It's about the contractors making money, never spreading democracy. It's got to be stopped before they kill another million. Fix the United Nations been complicit in the murder of children, men, women, whoever you can imagine. From Rwanda to Kosovo, the peacekeepers are savage. Like beasts, they keep no peace. Only let the violence grow. How many more pedophile scandals need to be exposed before you open your eyes to the BBC? What's happening in the Vatican isn't far-fetched to me. Instead, it seems this world is run by the wicked and the rich, who've got the populace convinced that there's no way to resist. I miss so many minds that no longer exist. This is it, so I look to the sky, just put up a fist, then switch. Sit down for a moment, let my mind become still, then begin to learn anew my own independence of will, till I can finally see clearly all my options in life, how to create a better way. As I take this strife in stride, I can barely afford this weed, but I'm still smoking a blunt, trying to forget the Hillary Clintons and the Donald Trumps. It's all a stunt, a facade to keep the masses distracted from the draconian laws that they've already enacted. They say we've got free healthcare, but we're still paying for it. They say we're in the land of the free. Indeed, if you can fucking afford it, torrential corruption, the state and mafia merge. It's only a matter of time before they start the motherfucking purge. Like the weather underground got caught, plenty to do to us. Millions of re-education camps are murdered by government. Judas or Brutus, pick a traitor, and you can't be far from the mark. You really think unisex bathrooms are the biggest issue in America's heart? Give me a break. Academy mercenaries killing hundreds in Syria, aided by al-Nusra and drone strikes. It's really clearly a coup waged by the pretentious scum in Washington, D.C. A total change in leadership is really what we need. 1 in 3 kids will have a learning spectrum disorder by 2025 if current percentage trends are carried forward. Toward a future I guarantee you don't want to live in. Between the White House and Wall Street, who's the true fucking villains?
Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
All the rage can be a new age slave, engaged in debates that don't affect your fate. Letting pseudo-scientific fakes pervade your brain. Explain how you come to believe things with no proof display. Deranged claims to raids or things danged arcane. Chicane games to make it plain, you're getting played. David Icke's insight is like that of a troglodyte. How many more tons of bullshit will you truth us by? Cause I've had enough of Alice Bailey 7 rays. Reptilian zeitgeist, this whole damn new age. Who paid Benjamin Green to promote his Lord Maitreya? Marcus Garvey making a god in the Haile Selassie in Jamaica. I'll never understand the human need for absurd beliefs. Circular reasoning and outright lies are all we seem to speak. I think it's time for the lies inside your mind to die. Unless you'd rather be asleep and sheep your whole damn life, but why? Where the philosophy that tastes the sweetest, the deadliest poison is the one that makes you to eat it. Going to a modern day man to learn your ancient secrets. It's like going to an agnostic to learn to be a theist. And while an open mind don't have to be a weakness, you'll find the fakest minds often portray themselves as the realest. And when things are at the bleakest and the shit is at its deepest, never let yourself lose hope, though I know you're slow to see it.
Yo, my life is rinse repeat. On the sidelines watching crime and violence right in front of me. Weed smoke in the week, yo, at the weekends where it peaks. I'm sick of the sheepish fucking attitudes of dudes who speak to me. I make music, I do it to rinse myself of the foolish actions of actors I've had contact with. It ain't movies. Fuck, I take 2, gotta do it all in one move. So I suppose that's why people follow the moves that other humans do. Bitch, it's useless if you don't choose your moves wisely. Timing is something I need to get down like before 22. I'm as certain as wine connoisseurs. It's I want a word with a wordsmith. I'm a shepherd, a leopard, herding and killing sheep. Wise as serpents. Don't tell me this ain't my purpose, bitch, cause this time I fucking earned it, and I'm only scratching the surface. Uncover the diamond while you're still programmed into finding a 9 to 5. The dream seems so motherfucking frightening. What?
Beware the philosophy, the taste the sweetest, the deadliest poison is the one that makes you to eat it. Go into a modern day man to learn your ancient secrets. It's like going to an agnostic to learn to be a theist. And while an open mind don't have to be a weakness, you'll find the fakest minds often portray themselves as the realest. And when things are at their bleakest and the shit is at its deepest, never let yourself lose hope, though I know you're slow to see it. It's a war for your mind in a race against time. While political slime try to keep the sheep blind, I work every single day, put my heart into my rhymes to inspire you to rise higher than the skyline. Side, I'm another produce from the Pacific Northwest, where we'll refine like fine wine or specific forceps. You're blessed, that's what the people say, and I suppose it's true. But damn if you had any idea what the fuck I've been through. Most of you whack backpack rappers with clothes up shot. I don't need to pretend to be someone else to get shot to mean something. See, my life already has meaning. I'm a man standing against the whole system of scheming. Dope, being demons thinking that there's something special. Inferior rhymes that like serious time, it's essential that you drop that garbage and let your mind grow. So just think for a moment as you light another smoke, bro. So low on the mic, and if you don't like it, turn it off. I never ask your fucking hating ass to buy it, cause I get it. Nothing from it but the pure satisfaction that I can use my talent to remain politically active. Attracted to info like other rappers are hoes. Just because you get paid don't make you a fucking pro. Lo and behold, multi-platinum artist only in it for gold. You've been told all this gangster shit's getting old. Stole the persona from 90s legends like Pac. And some pop music, call it hot, but that shit's not. Cause it's all contrived lives and the phony images got the fans sniffing coke, popping pills till they ass drop. Stop listening to grown-ass men acting like children. And if you wanna find a better life, better start building. Chilling and getting drunk only for so fucking far. Peep the truth I spit to you in these new rap bars. It's a war for your mind. If you don't get off your ass, get the fuck off the sideline. There's not gonna be enough time. Wake the fuck up. They say space is the final frontier of our time, but there's more unexplored doors in the mind. The divine manifestation of information codified in flesh, pondering often upon the very nature of life and death, what's right and left. Instead, it's simply what is, the sheer magnitude of observable, physical existence of mystics, dialogue of minds through sonic information. To taste it, the very basics of honest conversation. It seems we're chasing phantoms, yet don't know ourselves. Like what's before our eyes is real, but behind is nothing else. Mental health and wealth are at opposite ends of an eclectic spectrum where nobody can win. Spinning reality in a way that you think you can handle, when the deepest concepts are those you can dismantle. Rambling onwards, my thoughts continue through the ether, reaching you through your stereosonic speakers. Indeed, the level of heavy metals gather in your cerebral cortex, combined with sodium fluoride calcifying your pineal gland next, creates a state in which you can't reach deep into your soul to feel the flame in the void and regain self-control, molding yourself into the person you wish to be. Because strength and love are known to grow intrinsically, it gets to me so fitfully. I toss and turn at night as I try to disconnect from the hollow ego and hype. We might grow to know the power that sleeps within us all. It's not like universal truths are locked away within a vault. Call it forth, acknowledge that in the end we know so little. The riddle of birth and death with this life in the middle. Fickle fate can take everything away in a flash. Cast the mask to the asphalt and walk a new path. Like math, my rhymes may seem obscure, but in the end they always add up. As atoms fathomed in my mind comprise of syllabic matter. Cut the chatter, it's the final motherfucking chapter. Cut the chatter, it's the final fucking chapter.
from 1951, another photograph of a UFO from Riverside, California, showing the very significant bell-shaped configuration with 3 spheres projecting from its underside. This is the most familiar type of UFO and has been seen and photographed worldwide by UFO researchers.
Nazi slave agenda through Project Paperclip it entered, using planes made by who too few remember. Fool society members with other occult groups used American money and land to set up the new roots under new names, trying to hide their ties to the right. While the American government turned blind eyes to genocide. Why? Because they wanted to outpace the Russians, so they didn't give much of a thought to repercussions. Then they had to find a way to keep the news secret, while feeding us more of the regular lies that we get. Fleeced like sheep with photos of UFOs, so no matter who's opposed, you know I'm bound to expose the lies before your eyes when it comes to flying saucers. What's inside isn't little green men or monsters, but the U.S. Air Force and the CIA. Using nuclear-powered planes in the experimental stage. They used ideas based on planes like the Bell. That's why so many Foo Fighters look the same as well. Tell me it's not more than mere coincidence. Military personnel having increased incidents of abduction dungeons made to warp the mind, distort perceptions, sent to fame first contact lines, and crop circles are just a cheap charade and deep facade, but still attract the masses like some weak-ass casino odds. Gods from other worlds, more like gods in their own thoughts. How much more ancient aliens can the sheeple watch? Stop ignoring all the things going on that actually matter. Obsessed with trivial shit, it's like we're stuck on the same chapter of a real shitty novel filled with ideas like ghosts. Sasquatch, religion, political system, pseudoscience boasts about its integrity, but I swear it's all compromise. Illuminated puppets that run an empire built on lies. There is no such entity as Satan, it's just another symbol of an ultra-human trait to rule others through the mental manipulation of information. Got you living superstitious, believing in aliens when you don't even know the definition. Listen, Project Bluebeam's in full effect in this country. We expected the time to make Joel Osteen money, where taxation is theft, but you don't give a damn. With so-called terrorist attacks, it's just another government scam. But you ain't trying to hear that. Rather hear about lasers, about interstellar craft, anti-gravitational phases. What shit the TV pre-programmed you to like. But I wouldn't rap if I didn't respect what I write. Out of sight, space flight, rocket engines that fade and sputter. Calculated odds, ride or god, bunker buster, motherfucker in the slumber. Open your minds to the truth. Just ask a single believer to produce some real proof. I mean, really, does nobody here want to question the fact that the U.S. military spent billions of dollars trying to make things that look like UFOs to the uneducated observer? In the U.S. government, through the military-industrial complex, trying to make you not only A, believe in aliens, but B, think that somehow your ass is ever gonna get off this fucking rock. It's not gonna happen. You either take back control of this right now in your own life, do something, or you're just gonna be a fucking slave.
Is the UFO mystery truly a scientific Watergate, an incredible and dangerous cover-up? Understanding of the UFO may be beyond our science and political system, but it is not beyond the human mind. The alien intelligences of the UFO and the human earthlings are all common inhabitants of the cosmic energy intelligence continuum.
Unemployment and poverty has forced many of our people into a life of crime. But the real criminal is in the city hall downtown, in the State House, and in the White House in Washington, D.C.
Could it all be a bad dream? or a nightmare? Is it my imagination, or have we lost our minds? It's surreal. It's just not believable. A grand absurdity, a great deception, a delusion of momentous proportions, based on preposterous notions and on ideas whose time should never have come. Simplicity, grossly distorted and complicated. Insanity, passed off as logic. Grandiose schemes built on falsehoods with the morality of Ponzi and Madoff. Evil described as virtue. Ignorance pawned off as wisdom. Destruction and impoverishment in the name of humanitarianism. Violence, the tool of change. Preventive wars used as a road to peace. Tolerance delivered by government guns. Reactionary views in the guise of progress. An empire replacing the republic. Slavery sold as liberty.
You know, that's the thing about 9/11, man. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Who do you think ran that controlled demolition? Planes don't make buildings collapse into their own footprints. Who has profited the most off of the endless war? Who would have access to kilos of nanothermite before? Why was NORAD given the orders to stand down? Why did first responders notice molten metal upon the ground the day before? The Pentagon announces it's missing 2.3 trillion. It's time to wise up, open your eyes and fucking listen. It's been 15 years since this nation totally lost its mind. Even by mainstream lies, it took over a decade to find Bin Laden, when really there's nothing connecting him to 9/11. And anyway, how free is this country at present? See that phone tap, NSA surveillance state, Department of Homeland Security, and the fucking TSA. What has any of it done to prevent terrorism? Nothing. They would just build it an open-air prison panopticon where Big Brother might be watching all the time. Larry Silverstein made billions, but victims never saw a dime. When the towers fell, Operation Vigilant Warrior was in full effect. Now anyone that's not a sheep is a domestic threat. CEOs that just happened to be sick that day, yeah right, like paper untouched while metal's burning before your eyes. Learning about it will change the meaning of the American dream, like when you find out that jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Who do you think ran that controlled demolition? Planes don't make buildings collapse into their own footprints. Who has profited most off of the endless war? Who would have access to kilos of nanothermite before? Why was NORAD given the order to stand down? Why did first responders notice molten metal upon the ground the day before? The Pentagon announces it's missing 2.3 trillion. It's time to wise up. Open your eyes and fucking listen. 5 dancing Israelis, the men at all. What are the odds? Even the king of the Saudis blame 9/11 on the Mossad. Then there's a lack of debris around the Pentagon. Passports that survive fire, they say turn metal to jelly, a tiny unpacked, clean lawn and fake trolls upon the celly. Lies from so-called witnesses backing up the official report. Pundits doing their very best to cut actual witnesses short and vilify certain firefighters that live in New York that were there when it happened, cleaning staircases when they heard a big boom coming up from the basement. Statements that contradict each other dozens of times, like water to wind the head. You think George Bush was divine, scaring you so they can shake your entire worldview. Crisis actors getting interviewed with the script on Fox News, using terms like ground zero less than an hour after they fell, while ignoring Building 7 when it collapsed as well. Who do you think ran that controlled demolition? Planes don't make buildings collapse in their own footprints. Who has profited the most off of the endless war? Who would have access to kilos of nanothermite before? Why was NORAD given the order to stand down? Why did the first responders notice molten metal upon the ground the day before? The Pentagon announces it's missing 2.3 trillion. It's time to wise up. Open your eyes and fucking listen.
We want to bring in Mark Walsh, who's a freelancer for Fox. You live just a few blocks away and witnessed.
Dude, I live on the 43rd floor of a building, which is 5 blocks from the World Trade Center itself. I witnessed the entire thing from beginning to end.
People talk about how it looked like a movie. I know when I came walking down here early this morning and saw both towers on fire and people on every street corner, it was like a movie. But you watched the planes hit the towers.
I was watching with my roommate. It was approximately several minutes after the first plane had hit. I saw this plane come out of nowhere and just screamed right into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. And then I witnessed both towers collapse, one first and then the second, mostly due to structural failure because the fire was just too intense.
For instance, the free fall of Building 7 into its own footprint on the afternoon of 9/11 in under 7 seconds, going down at free fall acceleration. And we show the structural engineers. Did you know a third tower came down on 9/11 at our booth? And it stops them in their tracks. It's really exciting because they go, no. What are you talking about? They go, yeah, well, look at it. Tell me, is this building coming down by fire or controlled demolition? And they look at it and they think, well, that's obviously controlled demolition. 90% of them say this. And we go, then we have a conversation because we go, well, hey, this happened on 9/11. This was the third tower to come down. This is the third worst structural failure in modern history. And you and I didn't know about this? Why aren't we being told?
A reign built on bloodshed, conquest and debt. 19 trillion in the hole, we haven't hit the bottom yet. Private jets for politicians and the companies that own them. Secret torture bases on the international land they've stolen. Open border meant to spur third world immigration. Creating more division, competition, trace their wages, wasted energy, putting to promoting mainstream politics. Wishing the people would take to the street and finally stop the shit. Apocalypse or renaissance. The choice belongs to you and I. It's up to us on what to do to see our people through the struggle for a better life. You know it's quite the endeavor to never let the fetters of the society get you in the same stupid cycles like all the bullshit on TV, where the self-deluded thinking surrounds you completely. You see me, I see you. We're both nothing more than human. Don't let them make you buy into their foolish illusions, inducing people to believe that no one else means a goddamn thing, to live for self-inflicted interest, worshipping the obscene dreams of those that run the radio via calm and clear channel. Sex in the pit, you don't give a shit cause you can't hear the rattle. At a perspective kept in check with chemical death added to your water and food. MSG and dupes, shortness of breath, death following after from an allergic reaction. But they say it's safe to use, so just shut up and remain passive. Massive hysteria promoted to keep the populace terrified of everyone but the government atop them that thrives on lies, minds taken and raped through all the daily reprogramming until they could witness the psyops with no understanding. Demanded the noose around their necks get cinched a little bit tighter as the children overseas marching to you and fire for liars, the tires of an MRAP crushing you and yours to dust. Be aware of the evil people you let your heart trust. This art must be used as a medium to stand against military contractors, the big banks, and the 1% set on dominating this nation under a reign of corporate wars. More excuses to extract wealth with the pretext of war. Lords of death left to dominate any nation that's weaker, while the UN's opposition's non-existent to those with heat is eager to be leaders of a globally managed social structure corrupted to its very core, like a corpse when the bile ruptures, punctured by the troops sent by Ban Ki-moon. So fuck the United Nations, NATO, and the NAU, doomed to fail like bailouts in the European Union. The question is, can we live when they leave our countries ruined? What do you do to make the populace aware of Agenda 21 in the Royal Institute of International Affairs? There's poverty on the horizon, no escaping fever dreams. Property confiscation, carbon credit tax, algo schemes. Things aren't what they seem on the surface to most of the people. Indeed, both greed and envy to control most of what we know, though evil. Where there's fire on the horizon, there's always smoke to see through. The powers that be continuing to monitor everything we do. No redos, no second chance, this is your life right now. No reincarnation waiting for a second time around. And how the sound of media pundits really makes me sick. No shit, this is it. Uncle Sam's a real son of a bitch. Uncle Sam's a real son of a bitch.
Is that there has been no serious analysis of the president's foreign policy. In all of the coverage I've seen of the Democratic National Convention, including MSNBC, there has been no serious, hard-hitting critique critique of the president's foreign policy from the issues that actually are real, or that distinguish him, from the Republicans. Because the fact is that the Democratic foreign policy is distinguishable from the Republicans only insofar as the president took some of the worst aspects of the Bush-era foreign policy and pushed them forward. We have a president who, in a 2-week period, authorized the assassination of 3 U.S. citizens in Yemen, including a 16-year-old boy who was killed while he was having a barbecue with his teenage friends named Abdul Rahman al-Laki. They have never been able to produce who the target of that strike was.
I just want to make sure that we do not know that he was the target.
The president authorized operations over a 2-week period that resulted in the deaths of 3 American citizens, including a 16-year-old boy. And if you're going to use Osama bin Laden's killing as a football to spike on the national stage, I want the president of the United States to explain to the American people.
And
I travel in countries where these drone strikes happen. I'm not talking about political malpractice.
Right, but we're talking about the convention. So there's 2 different things. There's the discussion about the president's foreign policy, but then there's also the discussion about kind of how they're using that foreign policy to win a very important election.
But many of the media discussions, including here on MSNBC about foreign policy during the convention, felt like we were watching an Obama for America meetup, not an actual serious critique of this president's most egregious aspects of his foreign policy. Some of the core issues of this president's national security policy are not being debated. And I'm sorry, but watching John Kerry and Joseph Biden criticizing the war in Iraq, they voted for the war in Iraq. Joe Biden was the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and shut down debate about Iraq when it was being debated in this country. I mean, there's revisionism, there's jingoism. To me, I'm not thinking about this from a cynical political perspective. I'm talking about life and death issues that cut to the heart of, are we going to follow the Constitution?
Government mind control, propaganda with the poor. Twist a right-wing politician, son, brainwashed by Chinese communists. The irony is rich, is in reality such a bitch because the U.S. government was doing just the same shit. Look up MK Ultra, use a severe mental conditioning to create spies, drug runners, and assassins. Just envision it. Missions, hits, and mass chaos with political motives, with the media ocean to baptize. They're devoted to promote fear to achieve complete global control. Hollywood films approved by HUAC disseminated to most. Those that don't conform, labeled as communist subverters, and either locked up in prison or cited a murder. The further you go back into what this country's been a part of, even now how many conflicts they started, the more you realize the power hungry are the single greatest threat next to those that give them loyalty and respect. Check the direction that centralization is moving, and it soon becomes painfully aware what they're doing. Intruding into houses under the Patriot Act and disappearing citizens. Listen close, your phone's tapped. Trapped in a neo-feudalistic, capital-driven civilization, the population enslaved. Governed by the power of the chasing, making decisions on the living and killing of millions of other human beings just like them in other places. That's why the television promotes bigots and racists, because without the brainwash hatred in the minds of the sheeple, there'd be nobody willing to go kill whole countries of people. And resource conflicts meant to extract mass amounts of wealth and to visit upon the natives and all American brand of hell. Melting pot sounds right to me on the spot. Those on the bottom get burned, the scum floats to the top. A lot of what you think is real is quite literally not. Stop thinking the government will ever provide you with something they haven't stolen from the person right beside you they lied to. Everyone is stole every single thing they gave to us, but got the balls to say the threats illegal aliens, detaining them and running them through future fusion centers. Remember, the system's got them enslaved through legal tender. Money lenders that run the country charging people mad interest, with angry young folks like smoke pushing the resistance. I listen to the cries rising from the poor and the trodden, caught in between the wicked and the forgotten. They wanted a life not dominated by status sons of bitches, by the Democrats or Republicans. The evil never switches. The vicious envision a world populace in prison, bowing to the kleptocratic gods on the television, creating a situation just like the French Revolution. Mind control of the mass and passively inducing mass confusion. In an empire founded on blood and built on lies, the only way you can rule is by secrecy. Rule with with secrecy, willing to kill to keep it quiet. A nation portrayed as David, that ain't really a global Goliath. Prying eyes are illegal unless it's homeland security, the NSA, or another agency that appears to be able to violate the Constitution through executive orders. War on drugs, terror, poverty, the globe, open borders are to promote integration of the North American Union. Though what all these right-wing politicians are really doing is capitalizing on backlash to promote a fascist agenda, national defense, or border defense. Does nobody remember that this is the same old bullshit that they've done before? Every major political candidate supports the war. A socialist, renationalist is Nazi Germany 2.0. Not so long to go before, when in due time, then we got Big Brother not just around us, but even under our skin. Mass arrest for thought crime start to begin again, like the days of Soviet gulags or American internment camps. Revolution goes much deeper than even Russell Brand. Trans-Pacific Partnership getting shot down in New Zealand. Just wait until America wants to kill them all with freedom. Believe in the contrived narrative if you really want to, but the truth of the matter is actually far beyond you, me, or any other single human entity. Though I completely see your logic circumventing the grounding of reality in an attempt to escape the very construct in which you place so much of your faith. Face the irony knocking hard right on your front door. War's more costly than this nation can ever afford, but before it quits, we'll see the shit hit the fucking fan. Some think they'll be saved by the bottle in their hands, because historically, no, it won't really make a difference. To turn a blind eye to the governmental system. Comfortable living is a better prison than even a concrete cell. It's got the population think living in hell swell. Spelled out before you, David Cameron's a crook. Sarkozy and Hollande just as bad as George Bush. So's Merkel, high chancellor, kiss my ass. If Christine Lagarde topped the Soji criminal class, ask a global moment, just where is the Baltic? And why would America have the right to ever feel assaulted when ships are threatened halfway across the planet by Russians flying in their own airspace? God damn it, it's such a bad joke. Just listen to media pundits speak, talking down to the public about impartiality. They say weak, eaten by the strong is capitalism, but the same shit happens in every political system. Wishing hearts and minds of the people are where they need to be, so that we can stand against the system ruled by secrecy. You know, everybody out there is talking about being a leader, being successful, and yet nobody wants to talk about having to be a trailblazer, actually having to be the first to lead the way. Don't listen to the naysayers, they'll always tell you lies because they view you and what you do through jealous eyes. Pride wrapped inside of envy preach the foolhardy, like those who supposed to love political parties. Hardly worth the time to mention, but the thorny words will sneak, bringing with them the potent poison, hope destroying, killing dreams. And while it seems these things are right before your face, but say all you know, take back control. Yo, you've got to lead the way. Just let me say a couple things before you zone back out. Do you believe in freedom or just within politicians are loud? Clouds crisscross with chemical trails, Pepsi sales, iron blind brains a giant thing. Who can actually spell anymore? It's like mathematics, philosophy, and critical thinking. When will we notice that when the control is chemicals we're drinking? Lincoln led to brain damage and psychosis. It's easy, but get it out of the water supply. It's where it's getting greasy. Seedy politicians, city and state employees have no remorse for the way they're extorting the population based on racism and hate of the poor. Think I'm joking about you? Open the door to your local grocery store. Organic is through the roof while the junk food is the cheapest. I mean this, sugar addiction is a serious weakness. Diabetes, or should I say diabetes? The bankers are leeching, keeping the people broke and greedy. Don't listen to the naysayers, they'll always tell you lies because they view you and what you do through jealous eyes. Pride wrapped inside of envy preach the foolhardy, like those who supposed to love political parties. Hardly worth the time to mention, but the thorny words will sneak, bringing with them the potent poison, hope destroying, killing dreams. And while it seems these things are right before your face, but say all you know, take back control. Yo, you've got to lead the way. We to change, not just some loaded political slogan. We'll never see it if all we do is keep hoping. Open your eyes to the good and evil all around. It all seems down at first, but at times it gets worse too, Searching for an answer in all the mass media lies. Just think for a moment upon some of my rhymes. Why would terrorists blow up people in Brussels when those who benefit the most from it have political muscle? They connected with terrorist attacks, an illusion to promote the reintegration of the European Union. See, I'm talking about killing ISIL's number 2 with bombs, but the number 1's still an Israeli Mossad. Riyadh runs more terrorists than Tehran ever could. Watch the MI6 and CIA up to no good. Government agents are the ones that should be locked away in court. They'll have the day, but it's we who still got to lead the way. Don't listen to the naysayers, they'll always tell you lies because they view you and what you do through jealous eyes. Pride wrapped inside of envy preach the foolhardy. Like those who supposed to love political parties. All the words of time to mention, but the thorny words will sting. Bringing with it the potent poison, hope destroying, killing dreams. And while it seems things are right before your face, forsake all you know, take back control. Yo, you gotta lead the way. Don't listen to the naysayers, they'll always tell you lies. Because they view you and what you do through jealous eyes. Pride wrapped inside of envy breeds the foolhardy. Like those who supposed to love political parties. All the words of time to mention, but the thorny words will sting. Bringing with it the potent poison, hope destroying, killing dreams. And while it seems these things are right before your face, forsake all you know, take back control. Yo, you've gotta lead the way. Street lights, camera action, evil eyes on you. NSA Jade program, tracking you to your doom. Google search your speech patterns, examine meticulously through. With algorithms to predict what you're gonna consume. What you'll do to resist the governmental oppression. To oppose those corporate wars and the militaristic aggression. Molested the rights to privacy by the hundreds of millions. Liddell, Utah data center, while the real fucking villains stealing information to sell to the top corporations. Government agencies for domestic operations. Media stations that play its truth. Severity and claim it's all just to keep America free. The GCHQ doing the same thing in Britain. This is the fucked up wet world that we live in, but I still see potential, a better world I envision. So from smoking explicit, give a big fuck the system. Surveillance state, NSA keeping tabs upon the populace. And geoengineering chemicals rain down on top of us. Preposterous is what they used to call the truth, but now it's time to burn this tree down to its fucking roots. Surveillance state, NSA keeping tabs on the populace. And geoengineering chemicals rain down on top of us. Preposterous is what they used to call the truth, but now it's time to burn this tree down right to its fucking roots. Hey, Explicit.
Yo, what's up, man?
You ready for this, man?
Oh, I'm ready, brother.
I know you've got some bars that are gonna wake the sheep.
But do you think they're ready?
Most of them aren't ready, but you know.
Okay.
Fucking screw it, man.
Go.
Just do it.
Yeah, all eyes on us, but I'll keep on doing what I'm doing. There's no guy I trust, no machine is greater. Wait a minute, I'm about to bust. If the privacy provided is a word to spy on us, shit. Setting up surreptitious surveillance, even encrypted emails that say from them government agents. From Berlin to Paris, Rome and Athens, London and the States. It's keeping the majority thinking the minority's to blame, yo. Check, it's for your own safety. The NSA been able to track your movements daily since the 80s, and it's crazy that you let them without questioning what information they taking. Say this shit and outcast it as a nutter. Conspiracy theorist, but I know what side my bread is buttered, and I love to leave a trail of destruction. So if you want to follow Wets, I got some shit for you motherfuckers, and you gon' love it.
Surveillance state, NSA keeping tabs on the populace. And geoengineering chemicals rain down on top of us. Preposterous is what they used to call the truth, but now it's time to burn this tree down to its fucking roots. Surveillance state, NSA keeping tabs on the populace. And geoengineering chemicals rain down on top of us. Preposterous is what they used to call the truth, but now it's time to burn this tree down right to its fucking roots. You think Edward Snowden was the first to bring up any of this shit with the NSA? With the global surveillance state? Give me a fucking break. They've been doing this since the 80s, man. And not just my people here in the United States. To my people there in the UK getting held down by the GCHQ. Y'all stay up.
The U.S. government is building this massive spying apparatus aimed at its own population. Those in power want to conceal their actions and their wrongdoing from the people to whom they're supposed to be accountable. The U.S. government is collecting, under the aegis of the secret FISA court, the telephone records of every single American on American soil, every single phone call that they make, international and local, and storing those telephone numbers in a database and constructing massive data files that enable all kinds of intrusive surveillance. Experts say that that kind of metadata, as it's called, is even more intrusive than being able to listen in on your phone calls, because it creates this massive picture of you, with whom you speak, where you are, how long you speak with them, what the reasons are. Or you look at what the government is doing with Silicon Valley, these companies that are now the repositories for more communication information about human beings around the planet than any other place, Facebook, Google, Yahoo, Skype, all of them, and this constant negotiation between the government and these companies to allow the government access to enormous amounts of data, all done in the dark with no public accountability.
Ideological ideas based on false sense of supremacy, pseudoscience, racial theories deeply flawed intrinsically. So sit with me and peep a couple minutes of truth about Darwinian eugenics and what that madness can do to those that believe whatever mental let us say, using compartmentalized bigotry to kill people like strays. They sterilize Native American women saying they weren't worth a flying fuck. So why let them give birth? Truth hurts, it's hard to believe what people are capable of. Tuskegee Operation Top Hat and Sunshine, it's so inescapable. What do they need to classify before you start to give us shit? The American eugenicists became the modern day progressivist. The NAACP originally promoted racial sciences to minorities, for women of all red nations forced sterilization authority. Kellogg, Rockefeller, Harriman, and the Carnegie Institute promoted mass sterilization and giving black men syphilis too. You cannot make this shit up, but don't expect many to care. This country made the Nazi war machine aware of the massive successes of California eugenics, so that Germany was soon extremely well respected by scientists back home, men like C.M. Goat, who said Nazi opinions were deeply influenced by American thought. It's something that your history teacher never fucking taught, but ought to, if they weren't just another sheep in a slumber. Watch the rich white assholes and the wicked words they utter, left to die in a hospital bed just because your ass stutter. Just another lie from another politician. Why you act surprised at the lifestyles of the vicious? Falsehoods flow easy from the mouths of freedom destroyers. Such a bummer. Any wonder that most defensive lawyers, judges, lobbyists, and managers of hedge funds can only impress us all if we let them set it back down a couple of pegs because they're not superior, nor are you for any reason genetically inferior. Ulterior motives for the killing of fellow humans based on arbitrary physical traits and social grouping, assuming the low IQ of some justifies euthanasia, euphemism for murder by any other name. A hospice program or end of life care based on discrimination with no time to spare. Scared of what will happen as your population grow till the weather can hold on to everything they own that was stolen by manipulation and kept through violent force by private security firms killing us for sport. Because how dare people like me not support all the evil that supposedly justifies government murder of people equally across the spectrum, just as long as you're poor, until we're all disposed of undesirables lying dead in the morgue. Because how dare people like me not support all the evil that supposedly justifies government murder of people equally across the spectrum, just as long as you're poor, until we're all disposed of undesirables lying dead in the morgue. Click, bang, another declassified document swept under the rug to WikiLeaks. Got it out now, you looking it up. Opium getting shipped out by the ton, while the U.S. keeps Afghanistan under the gun stun. There are people like me who are dare to oppose it, killing innocent people across the Atlantic Ocean, smoking a joint while I try to make sense of it all. Working through music to break through illusions like something on a slug of hydrochloric acid on skin. The FBI trying to make the revolution begin, spinning reality in a way that's beneficent to destroy societal discourse. Norton's biggest division, sickening insipid dicks on television, making hatred of certain groups trendy. Really, it's very basic. Soon they'll have a right-wing coup on the table, as well as a rise or black nationalists if they're able to fight each other in the streets along with the government until they can fully crack down some intense significance and force in the whole population. See the re-education camps popping through the nation, try to mean detainment centers for political refugees of America's own fucking foreign policy. Speak truthfully, and you might end up dead like David Crowley, or silenced like many of the activists that used to be around. The astounding amounts of crime, the ATFs running guns. But if a cop thinks he sees with one, this shit's done. Dead on the asphalt, then later framed as a threat. When you make a man above the law, that's what you fucking get. Set the lies aside and show the cure that you left with is that our government thrives upon deception like presidential elections. Do you really believe that most of our presidents are from the same families? That it's coincidence? Whatever I told you didn't just stop here. Much of this country's ruling class has been passed down for years. We, they say, Democrats are the party of the people. Jackson Johnson, Roosevelt, and worse, the legacy's evil. From Kennedy to Clinton, Harry Truman, and Jimmy Carter. A bunch of rich, white elitist pricks that get painted like martyrs, just like Obama, just add the metal to the skin. Isn't it strange the U.S. AFRICOM grew so much under him? All the fact that Rumsfeld and Bush got for it vanished. Watch the body count grow over the last half decade of damage. Unified combatant command since 1946 is the whole reason the global empire exists. Around 1,000 bases and 100 countries worldwide. Trade agreements watch the North American Union rise. Inside United Nations, propaganda is the global government. With continental unions drawn together under it. Consolidation of corporate interests over nation states. Privatization, federalization, it's all the same fucking games they play. Daily staging terror attacks to pass no laws. Destroying the rights of the people to thunderous applause. Stasi, Nazi, Illuminati, spy grid. Limits my kid. See too few will ever ask questions if the lie's big enough. Distrust of justice takes too long to grow. Well, Wall Street criminals smile and wait like we don't know. But we do. The truth is you and your billionaire friends use taxpayer money for government funds to get your fucking ends. While federal law enforcement acts as corporate police framing protesters. So yo, we don't know peace. No beast of revelation could ever roar this loud, firing tear gas and rubber rounds in the crowds until they feel that they've got the masses pacified. Just wait for more documents to be declassified, or we can force them to be transparent. After all, I pay thousands every year in taxes. Just so they can fund this shit. It's like a fucking nightmare. Living the last days of their lives in a prison cell. You ain't gotta die to experience hell. Smell the stagnant air in the block on death row. Some even say these people are living it up, yo. So we're called a Christian nation that lies so ill. Whatever happened to the first commandment, thou shalt not kill? Be your pills of mass graves like the landfill. See that it's dead, cause death will never stand still. A man will die at this government's hands every single minute. Be it war, the police force, or just another death sentence. They say justice is blind, but yo, this shit is a lie. Because the truth sees clearly with both eyes wide open. Keep open, but go and actually make a change. Or the soul of this nation will forever taste the flame. Strange logic, they build in prisons for profit. Then have incentive for inventive new crimes to stock it. Full of human beings reduced to little more than digits. Bars abusing inmates, already ravaged by violence and sickness. Witness the millions that suffer here like every year. Isn't it weird? A populace so big that still shudders in fear, uttering tears under the oppression of a fascist regime. It's never standing up for the real freedom they need. They bleed in the streets like a pig stuck in the guts, getting beat by police. Yo, the shit's so fucked up. The war on drugs is just a poor excuse for murder. Whenever the feds are in charge, the evil goes much further. The so-called moral majority has no moral authority, using trivial possession to lock up ethnic minorities disproportionately to the rest of Western society. But it's still killing us all. Watch the government lie to me, saying they gotta lock me in a cage for my own damn good. As though losing years of my life in a cell ever could do anything but make me a modern-day slave. Released into dealing drugs and making minimum wage. If anyone even hides my asses in the first place. And it'll be years before I can travel out of state. Ain't it great the stars and stripes can lock you up forever without any thought to your worth whatsoever. Strange logic, they're building prisons for profit. Then you have incentive for inventing new crimes to stock it. Full of human beings reduced to little more than digits. Guards abusing inmates ravaged by violence and sickness. Witness the millions that suffer here like every single year. Isn't it weird? A population so big that's still living in fear, either in tears under the oppression of a fascist regime. Never standing up for the real freedom they need. They bleed in the streets like a pig stuck in the guts, getting beat by police. Yo, this shit's so fucked up. Heroin made from opium sold by the CIA. As troops got poppy fields half a fucking world away. Coming back home by the vast metric tons. Broken down into kilos and so with stolen guns. To gangs and cartels all over North America. While the Senate and House spout new ways to bury ya. Be you a drone victim in Yemen or on death row in Texas? Or shot by a cop just because you were texting? And he thought it was a gun and then he planted the evidence, making you look like a thug that just got a taste of your own medicine, giving humans the authority to take like for a political entity while blaming the violence on some made-up fucking enemy will always be a bad idea that leads to destruction. Like the very situation we now find ourselves stuck in. Strange logic, they build in prisons for profit, then have the incentive for inventing new ways to stock it. Full of human beings reduced to little more than digits. Guards abusing inmates already ravished by violence and sickness. Witness the millions that suffer here like every single year. Isn't it weird? A populace so big still living in fear, uttering tears under the oppression of a fascist regime, never standing up for the real freedom they need. They bleed in the streets like a pig stuck in the guts, getting beat by police. Yo, this shit's so fucked up. This system has murdered millions. So when the fuck are you gonna stand up and make a difference? I hear the bullets screaming in the distance, only concerned with continuity and living. This isn't the system I envision growing older, with dives of common and rotten toxic oceans, and open spaces and places of brutal carnage. Post-nuclear war America, which is death incarnate. Hardened survivors battle each other and a martial law state. Slaughtering morally irradiated every single day, wasted traces of yesterday's materialistic society. So serving sociopaths continue on, lives silencing American militarism, pushing a major international conflict bigger than World War II, thermonuclear war for more profits, constant struggle to eke out even a meager existence. Unless you're a slave on a government compound, just wishing conditions would change with no real way of switching it. See now, even the rain contains radioactive particulates, fallout, all the destruction of most of the population, bathed in radiation, survivors in subway stations chasing emaciated abominations for ravenous sport. Morbid obsessions with how rigor mortis contorts the bodies and faces of every single new victim. I'm sickened by the very thought of the cannibalism. My wisdom dictates I live the life of a nomad. So for tabs on my knapsack, always ready for combat. To commence in self-defense, should somebody shoot first. Ironically, self is the only thing really left of worth in a world that's worse, cursed by generations past. Last to go in, first to know. Politicians hide behind a mask. Even now they still hawking bullshit through drones. One-party elections that two corporations fully own. Homegrown threats, losing political grist has got free men like smoke at the top of their fucking list. This isn't how I wanted to grow older, always looking over my shoulder just because I wouldn't sell my soul to the government vultures. Vulgar displays of power meant to bully the masses. Fascist actions taken in the most grandiose fashion, lashing rebels with tipped with metal, ripping the flesh. Public execution institutions founded on death, murder, bound, torture, kill. It's all really the same to me as slavery, but the worldly death can't kill the fire inside the lives I've touched, and the being that's worth more than a mind. Even in a world that's less than equal, the people will still rise, third eyes open to the fraud that is status religion, antithetical to the zealous that fell into the system. I wanna reach them and teach them, but I don't know I can. See, the life we're living leaves just so much blood on our hands. God damn, this is just a taste of the future. My thoughts of what this country will be when the bombs start to drop. It's birth, life, and death for us. What's next? How many more seconds of breaths do my lungs have left? Guess, I suppose I'll never know. Would it matter if I did? Would it change the way that I think and I live? We're given so little time to understand even the basics. Face it, the hands of a working clock are never stationed where they placed it when they made it. Even the clock itself, time will erase it. Faceless, force, it pushes, changes, rearranges. Even seasons are never the same as ceaseless. Wearing, winding, grinding mountains into dust. Trust it does the same goddamn thing to us, just the way it is. Everybody's gotta die sometime, either sooner or later, but it's bound to come like the sunrise. Realize it's about the route you take before you're gone, so I'm leaving you this song, cause I can't stay long.
Essence of timelessness requires just a little finesse. See, we're all fading away, fading to grey. I'm watching clocks count down my days. I can't be saved, don't matter if I pray.
Damn straight.
And if you're wasting every moment you got, and every prize that you pull from the pot ain't worth shit, then get a better bit in this goddamn plot that we write in. It's your story, grab the glory. Everybody got a moment to have, everybody gotta follow a path. The road less traveled is a blast, you learn to live with the past. Cast away all you wanted to say, let your worries go up in a blaze. We're in a whirl in this world, as it twirls I feel the girl that I knew back when I knew it could depend on the order of things to which you would cling. But now I can't stay long, life brings what it brings.
The first birth of freedom in this nation was dead on arrival. Never even had a chance to breathe deep because of the spiteful tidal wave of those with the minds to exploit. Native people like droids, based upon a heart-shaped void rather than logic, which would have dictated the kindness. But by the revolution, it was far too late to find it. Smallpox, slavery, mass rape and genocide, the land of democracy is a motherfucking lie. I light up a doobie to ease my nerves for the future. Watching Gerald Talented Trench journal on my computer. You were advised that peace, not police, will end the terrorism. But the DHS has fascism as its mission. So wisdom's reviled while the markets are rigged, while mainstream media economists put up like hating shit with no semblance of fact, just more Keynesian lunacy. And an NSA that just don't know what the hell to do with me. No matter who gets elected, this country's still gonna suck. Because it's the institution, not just the people that'll fuck. Such is life, oil price, crashing from an overabundance. America got what it wanted, but now it's already crying for something more. So get prepared for propaganda and war. Lots of families torn to pieces. We live without a second or more. Born into a society that feeds off of its downtrodden. Some say let's save this nation, but face it, it's already rotten. Forgotten one day when this world no longer cares. And there's no CFR or Royal Institute of International Affairs. Where's the real leaders of this generation's minds? Are they afraid to stand up, or are they still blind to the vicious organ harvesting compounds in Tianjin, or the forced sterilization of Native American women? Digging deep into the facts can leave you disgusted and numb, but it's still better than being among the deaf and the dumb. Ignorance is in bliss society. This tells you it is. Pseudo-intellectualist, quote an Ayn Rand materialistic bitch. Switch from the trope paradigm that they got your thoughts in. Where to keep you from thinking. They leave your mind boxed in with rotten toxins over a decade of state-funded propaganda until you can hear the truth, not even understand it. We're stranded out here in the land of the lost wasp, where ignorance is God sent shadow no matter what the cost. This is the land of the free, it's dead on arrival.
evening, everybody. It is an honor to be here at my last, and perhaps the last, White House Correspondents' Day. You all look great. The end of the Republic has never looked better. And I am excited. If this material works well, I'm going to use it at Goldman Sachs next year. They're out there somewhere. I have two words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming. I think I'm joking.
Don't let anybody tell you that it's corporations and businesses that create jobs. You know, that old theory, trickle-down economics, that has been tried, that has failed.
If I'm the president, we will attack Iran.
I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second. I have a total net worth, and now with the increase, it'll be well over $10 billion. But here, a total net worth of $8 billion. Net worth, not assets, not liability, a net worth. Part of the beauty of me is that I'm very rich. I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists than Donald Trump.
But bombing Iraqi oil fields is going to anger huge numbers of people?
I would bomb the hell out of those oil fields. I wouldn't send many troops because you won't need them by the time I got finished. I'd bomb the hell out of the oil fields. I'd then get Exxon. I'd then get these great oil companies to go in. They would rebuild them so fast your head will spin. I like China. I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China. I love the Saudis. Many are in this building. I would get along with Putin. I've dealt with Russia. The American dream is dead.
This album is dedicated in loving remembrance to James Filkins. Rest in peace. Please be free and live on in me as more than just a memory. Thank you for listening to Declassified. This is the one and only Smoke, signing off. Peace.